Okay, guys, welcome back. This is take two. We just did the whole thing with forgetting to turn on the microphone. So hopefully everybody can hear us this time. Sorry about that. It's a rookie mistake. We'll get it one of these days. All right. So for those of you don't know who or new to this channel, don't know us, I'm Mark. I'm a certified health coach. This is Teresa. She's a board certified family nurse practitioner. We are with Total Health and Wellness, and we'd like to talk about hormones, metabolic health, and everything in between. So tonight we're going to be talking about metabolic fitness, specifically as it relates to sprinting. I've done a video on this quite some time ago, but really what we're trying to do is we've had several people ask us, please do a demonstration of a smart workout. So if you guys go back to last week, we did a video on, it was called Metabolic Fitness, why it's more important than weight loss. And so we got into depth, we got in depth on resistance training and the smart workout specifically. So if you have questions about that, that'd be a good video for you to go back and reference because we'll be revisiting a lot of that tonight. But tonight's going to be more sprinting focused. So anyway, wanted to move on. Before we get into that though, we wanted to talk a little bit about Teresa has an upcoming Spring into Wellness event. This is coming up on this coming Saturday, so the 5th, and it's going to be from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. And she's going to be talking about what?
I'm going to be talking about the devastating effects of women living without hormones. And I'm going through a woman's lifespan, and I'm starting at age 30. So it'll be very interesting.
Okay, awesome. And again, that's at the Library Station in Springfield, Missouri. And that's going to be at 2535 Kansas Expressway, North Kansas Expressway.
Yeah.
So if you guys can make it and support them, that's great.
Yeah.
If not, we're going to try and record this live for Facebook. And then we're also going to record it and we'll post it to YouTube as well. And I think on version 1.0 that we just did of this video a few minutes ago that we messed up, we were also talking about the archive situation with Facebook.
Oh, yeah. So Facebook is starting to erase live videos. They're not keeping them past 30 days. So last week we've started to get every couple days a such and such video from February, whatever date is being deleted. So if you have a favorite video, I don't know what to tell you to do.
Yeah, if you guys, I don't know, there's a way for you guys to archive it. It's going to be gone. They're emptying out their cloud storage,
yeah,
and they're trying to make room. And I don't know if it was starting to get too expensive for them to store the videos, or whether they're just changing something. In any case, our videos are going away,
yeah.
So we might change the format. We might just record our videos moving forward, and then upload them to YouTube, and then share the YouTube video on Facebook. Because I'm thinking if it's not a live recording, then we'll at least be able to have it there all the time, and you guys can go back and look at it. So we'll figure it out though, and we'll move on from there. So kind of getting back to the metabolic fitness and the sprinting thing, just to do a quick recap of last week, we were talking about resistance training and the benefits of it. And the reason why we're talking about sprinting today is because, first of all, I sprint a lot and I love sprinting. And second of all, the benefits, which we'll talk about here in a minute, are very similar to what they are with the metabolic health side of resistance training. Yeah. So smart training specifically. So just to recap again, SMART is slow maximum resistance training. And that's going to be basically working out. It's a high intensity resistance training workout. And we'll talk more about that. But if you guys want to go back and see that video, did I already mention in this video?
I don't know.
I can't remember what I said now because we've done this twice. So, but again, about a week ago, we did a video on resistance training. And we talked about this. So please go back and reference that. Yeah. All right. So moving along, we've got about, now I'm getting ahead of myself again. We have a question. So the question we wanted to cover, this is one of our people on YouTube. They were asking about fatty liver disease. So, so Teresa wanted to go ahead and answer that question for her tonight.
So fatty liver disease is a new epidemic, probably in the last decade. When I first started out in nursing in the 90s, you knew who the drinkers were because they had fatty liver. Now, non-alcoholic fatty liver is the epidemic, and there's no alcohol necessary. So it's sugar and just excess fat being shoved into the liver. So if you ate, high carbohydrate and highly processed foods that you're not burning enough, okay, so that's immediate glucose. You eat a banana, that's immediate glucose for your body. If you eat in abundance or excess, but you're not exercising or trying to burn it off, you're eventually going to give it shoved into your liver, then your pancreas, and then your muscles. So you just get fatty liver. So, but even non-alcoholic fatty liver can set you up for liver transplant, for liver failure, which is not good. And today I was checking charts, getting charts ready for Thursday. And there's a new guy who's coming back. His A1C is 8.4. So he's a full-blown diabetic. That means his average daily blood sugar is 232. And I can see that he has fatty liver because when you look at liver enzymes, the AST and the ALT which is in your comprehensive metabolic panel, his ALT is significantly higher than his AST, but normal. It's not flagging. It's not high enough to flag out. But again, you can look at nuances and see these things coming. So he has non-alcoholic fatty liver.
Gotcha. And that fatty liver, that fatty is literally, it's fat around your organ, your liver,
right.
Which is, as Teresa mentioned, it can be around your pancreas, it can be around other organs. That's called visceral fat. So there's a visceral fat that we have a subcutaneous fat. So the fat that's in our right beneath the skin, it's like the fat we can see.
Yeah.
We've got intramuscular fat. So that's, if you think of like the marbling on a steak, that's the intramuscular fat. You've got the visceral fat, which is fat around your organs. And then you've also got ectopic fat, which is the last area where your body would use. Think of it like an ectopic pregnancy. It's fat where it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
So fatty tumors around different different areas of your body. So none of them are good.
No.
So you definitely when you're getting visceral fat, or you're getting obviously ectopic fat, you have an excess of energy that's being stored in your body, and that needs to be addressed, because that's a bad deal.
Yep.
Anything else you wanted to say about that?
Nah.
Okay, so moving along, we're going to talk a little bit. I put together really 8 different things around sprinting, and there are 8 different benefits of sprinting and why they're important. So the first off is with sprinting, it's a resistance training exercise. So similar to literally going to the gym and lifting weights. And with sprinting, the goal is to get to where you're giving 100% maximum effort. And that's where the benefit comes in. And you're doing that for short bursts until you literally can't do them anymore. So you've got the different twitch muscle fibers. You've got fast twitch, you've got slow twitch, and you've got kind of in between twitches. And so we're trying to engage those fast twitch muscle fibers, which are fantastic for short bursts of power, short bursts of speed, but they have no endurance whatsoever. They can't last. So what you want to do is we're trying to wear those fast twitch muscle fibers out and reach exhaustion with those. It's similar actually to what you do when you're going to do a resistance training workout. You're doing, say, a bicep curl, and you go till you can't do any more. You've reached total muscle fatigue. So that's the goal here. So some of the benefits, first of all, it improves your human growth hormone production during sprint workouts. And that lasts actually for studies have shown for a couple of days afterwards. And so some of the benefits of that are improved body composition. So we talked about that during the talk we did last week. You'll see a lower fat on your body. So your body fat will actually decrease. You'll see lean muscle increase. And if you look at like Olympic sprinters and stuff, you can see they're super jacked. They look like they're almost like some sort of a crazy weightlifter, but it's not. I'm not saying that they don't lift weights as well, but they are actually looking like that because of the sprinting and what it does to your body. Mm-hmm. So increase in lean muscle, decrease in body fat, and then you get the, like I said, the increased human growth hormone levels. You also have a process that slows the aging in the body as a result of sprinting. So with that, you have decreased muscle wasting. So we talked about this quite a bit, actually. When you get older, you become sarcopenic, you start losing muscle mass, and this will help stave that off. You actually are putting on lean muscle, so you're gonna restrict the muscle wasting, so to speak. You're gonna also get increased skeletal strength. So same way as if you go to the gym and you work out, that's actually really good for your skeleton or your bones. Resistance training is as well, because sprinting is as well, because it's like a form of resistance training. You get an increased reaction time. The quick movements and the powerful bursts actually make your body better at reaction, and it actually stimulates your brain. So it actually slows down cognitive decline. I actually just learned this today, so I was super excited when I saw that. I was like, that's fantastic.
You sprinted today.
And I did sprint today too. And I'll talk a little bit more about that at the end of the talk here. And then number 3 that we have on the list is increased cardiovascular health. So you're actually improving your VO2 max, and that's really it's a measure of how powerful and how efficient your heart is at breathing, as is producing oxygen and working with your oxygen. So that's a big deal. And then peak power output, so the actual amount of power that you have when you're doing your sprint workouts, so those increase. So that's a big deal too, and that helps with your cardiovascular. We have something that Teresa talked about actually last week. It was part of a video we did called 8 Ways to Optimize Your Health and Weight Loss, and that reduces stress. So if you guys get a chance, you go back. That was only about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago we did that video. But it helps with releasing endorphins, just like resistance training does as well. So that endorphin release will actually benefit you by making you feel good. Endorphins are the feel-good hormone. So that's another benefit of sprinting. And then you have the increase in your metabolism. So your resting metabolic rate goes up because you're putting on lean mass. So we've talked about this before. Your resting metabolic rate is the amount of calories your body will burn every 24 hours just to keep you alive. So what we like to do to affect fat loss is we like to actually try and put on as much lean muscle as possible, because the more lean muscle we have, the more calories our body burns at rest.
Yeah.
So we like to increase that. And that's one of the reasons why this is so effective. So it increases your metabolism. And there's also studies that show that your body burns energy, meaning it's burning fat and or sugar, for longer periods of time after a sprint workout than it does after like going out and say going for a run, like 5 miles or whatnot.
Yeah.
So that's super cool too. We like that also because not only are you getting that extended energy burning effect from the sprinting, you're also getting that energy burning effect from the increase in muscle mass that you're putting on.
Yeah.
And sorry, I have to reprimand my cat too.
We're having a cat fight.
Come on, guys, cut it out.
It's just
That's
one.
enough.
She's just not.
Yeah, we got a cat over here, and there's tufts of hair all over the floor right now, and they're running around acting crazy. So sorry for the distraction. Where was I? Talking about energy burning. I think I got that one under control. Okay, the next one was going to be glucose control. So when you do high intensity exercise, whether it's resistance training or sprinting, and there's other forms as well, you're actually forcing your body to use glucose, and insulin is the shuttle that gets the glucose into the cells. The problem is a lot of us who are not metabolically healthy, we're insulin resistant. So sprinting, just like resistance training, actually forces you to become insulin sensitive, which is what we want. And so Teresa here is going to talk about that really quick.
Yeah. So insulin sensitivity just means you're sensitive to insulin. So if you eat a banana or you eat ice cream, your sugar goes up, pancreas releases insulin, insulin drives the glucose into cells. When you're resistant, you eat the banana or you eat ice cream, your sugar goes up, pancreas releases insulin, your body ignores it and ignores it and ignores it and takes more and more and more insulin to shove the glucose into the cells. And so that's why lazy medicine tells diabetics, eat whatever you want, just go for a walk after you eat. It'll push the glucose in and your sugar will come down, which is true. But I say don't eat the sugar in the first place, but we all know that.
Yeah.
My take on that anyway.
Right on. Okay. That's a good take. Okay, and then we talked about human growth hormone earlier. So another benefit of that increase in human growth hormone that sprinting it helps with is going to be libido. So that's kind of cool. So this is right up Teresa's alley. She talks about this with her patients all the time. And so anyway, that's another benefit. But the one biggest benefit out of all this, or not the biggest, but one of the reasons why I really like sprinting is the same reason why I like the smart workouts that we talked about in the video last week, is convenience. Okay. So you don't need a special track, or you don't need special equipment. You don't need anything. All you need is some space. Whether you've got a big yard and grass and you can sprint 25 yards on it, you can go to your school track, like one of your local schools, and do it. I do it out on the road here, right by where we have enough road in the neighborhood. I've got plenty of room just in our neighborhood to run sprints. The other thing is the workout is relatively short. You only need to do it a couple of days a week. You only need to take 15 to 20 minutes a day to do that. So anyway, that's the final. That was the final benefit that I was wanting to cover today, was actually the convenience of it.
Yeah, we left the gym on Saturday, and we say the same thing every time we leave. We're so predictable. We were both like, man, that was so easy. 20 minutes.
Not an easy workout.
No, but like 20 minutes, I can do that. And
Yes.
Again, people were in there working out. I don't know for how long when we got there, and we left way before them. So we used to spend hours at the gym, but still be overweight. So I said to him, I got in the car and I said, if someone says, hey, I want to spend an hour and a half at the gym when I get off at 5 while family time and dinner's going on, I'd rather be at the gym. Okay, I wouldn't. So nice and quick and easy is right up my alley.
Yes, it is hard. We go there and work really hard. We're hitting every single major muscle group, doing one set to absolute muscle failure, and then going from that machine or that piece of free weight or whatever it is that we just did that exercise with to the next one and to the next one as fast as we can go.
Yeah.
And you don't obviously start out that way, but once you get to where you're semi in shape, then you can get to that level. And I try and get through my workout as fast as I can and get in and out of the gym, because I've got other stuff to do. So do you guys. But anyway, if you have an hour for lunch, make it 45 minutes for lunch. Spend 15 minutes out either doing a resistance training workout, the smart workout, or do sprints.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do it. I just like this from the standpoint that it takes a lot of the excuses away. Now, Is it for everyone? No. The smart workout is much more easy on your joints and much less impact than sprints are.
Yeah.
So listen, if you're bariatric, if you're obese, or if you have some sort of a handicap, if you have some sort of a problem with your knees or your ankles, if you have some sort of genetic disposition for just not being able to run very good without pain, there's excuse me, there's a lot of conditions where you should not be running sprints.
Yeah.
And again, I'm just telling you sprints from a standpoint of what the benefits are, and also what I do personally. I'm not telling you this is what you should be doing. I take a lot of time, do a lot of research before I get into my exercises, and I've done that for the sprinting, and I feel comfortable. But it took me time to get here.
Yeah.
So, all right. So my workout, what do I do? So today, when I went out and worked out, we have a 5 mile stretch of road that's it's just a 2-lane highway essentially by where I live. So what I'll do is I'll go out and either walk or I'll walk run. And today I did a walk run or walk sprint. So I'll literally pick out say a couple of power lines or a couple of mailboxes or a power line and a mailbox, and I'll look and say, okay, does that look like a decent distance that I can run from one point to another point on? And then I'll go ahead and I'll run a sprint doing that. Now I warm up before I do it. So say I'm going to go out and run 6 sprints today. The first couple of sprints are going to be the first one maybe at 50% of my maximum capacity. That way I'm not going out and injuring myself by just going right in from 0 to 100% sprint. The next one, maybe I'll do, 60 or 75%. And then the next one I'll do 90%. And then by the 4th or 5th sprint, then I'm doing 100%. I'm going as hard as I can. Then I'll maintain 3 or 4 of those 100% sprints. And then I'll have a couple of cool down sprints. So I can run anywhere from 6 to 10 sprints over that course of that 5-mile walk that I do. And again, I'll change up the distance. So, maybe the first sprint I run 75 yards. And then the next sprint I'll run 25 or 30 yards. Some sprints I'll be running, 80%, like I mentioned. Some of them I'll be running 100%. Some sprints I'll run uphill because we've got some hills out here, and some sprints I'll run downhill. Also the rest in between. Sometimes I'll rest for 30 seconds between a sprint before I start the next one. Sometimes I'll rest 2 or 3 minutes, maybe even 5 minutes in between a sprint, just depending upon how I'm feeling. But I like that change and that variability. I like my body to never really know what I'm going to be doing. It's just little hacks like that that help make it that much more effective.
Yeah.
So again, I think that's pretty much covered it. Oh, and by the way, that change in the intensity that I do, and also the change in the distance that I do, is I do that because of what's called heart rate variability. So that's something that I looked into. You guys could research it, but just to touch on it, it's changing the way that your heart is actually how much exertion you're putting on your heart. So sometimes you're putting a little bit more, sometimes you're putting a little bit less, and you're changing it up throughout your workout. So that's kind of a cool thing. Again, heart rate variability. Check it out on Google or whatever your favorite flavor is.
And I just want to say, I got stuck a few years ago, well, probably more like 6 years ago, at like a kickboxing club. And that just made me skinny fat. Like it was cardio. So like if you run, you're not building muscle. If you're running, you're building endurance and you're benefiting your cardiac status, but you're not building muscle unless you're doing sprints. But I'm saying long distance running, like 3 miles, 5 miles, marathon running. So you want to do activities that build muscle.
Yeah. And if you guys are going to start sprints, anybody here decides that they want to give it a try, just start out slow. Make sure you've got really good shoes.
Yeah.
So get a pair of high quality shoes that you're going to run sprints in. I would recommend starting out on grass or some sort of a soft surface, maybe a high school track that's rubberized or something, to take a little bit of the impact off.
Yeah.
I have a road because that's where we live and we have roads. There's no qualms that I know it's hard on my knees and my joints, but I choose to do it anyway because it's what I've got right now.
Yeah.
So just be careful about it. Get into it slowly. Do your research, and also just something else for you guys to know is when you run sprints, the shorter sprints you tend to be able to run faster, and so you have more highly likely to injure yourself by running the short sprints than you are the longer sprints. So when you start off, you may also want to consider doing some longer sprints as well until you get a little bit more. Your body gets better trained in its ability to adapt.
Yeah, and the grass can be tricky because there could be holes that you can't see.
Absolutely, be careful.
Which is what happened to me one time, so just be careful.
You don't want to put yourself in a situation where you're injured and then you're out 8 weeks again before you can even walk. I mean, that's not the point here.
No.
So, all right. Well, if you guys find this information valuable, please give us a thumbs up or a like, or whatever you can. If you're new, please consider following us. And so, and also we are doing every day. We want to do the featured questions. So please let us know what questions you guys have. It's really helpful for us to come up with content.
Yeah.
So As always, we love you guys.
So much.
God bless you all. We'll see you next time. And don't forget, food matters.
Bye.
Bye.